Seth Rollins walked into Monday Night Raw as the crown jewel champion and the world heavyweight champion, and he thought the vision was clear and that the vision was all aligned and that all four of them were on the same page. But Bron Breakker had other plans as he speared Seth Rollins out of his shoes to end Monday Night Raw. Paul Heyman looked shocked. Bronson Reed really didn't know what to do, and Bron Breakker gave both of those guys a choice and said either you're with me or you're not. And both Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman seemingly have chosen to go with Bron Breakker and to leave Seth Rollins laying. What an end to Monday Night Raw. Now, lots of rumors swirling online about the status of Seth Rollins following Crown Jewel. Looks like he injured his shoulder doing a coast-to-coast against Cody Rhodes. And don't know how long he's going to be out. He was not in a sling or anything on Raw, but he was spotted on the streets in a sling. So we'll see. I don't know. Some people online are reporting that this was done very early. This was a major pivot by creative because they don't know how long Seth is going to be out. Well, let's poke holes in that for just 1 second. I'm not saying that Fightful, who I saw was credited with that report, I'm not saying that they're wrong. Let's poke a few holes in that and let's just find some logic and let's just try to draw our own conclusion here on Squared Circle Radio, because that's what we like to do. I don't want to dive into all the rumors, and I don't want to get sucked into everything that everybody online is saying. I want to take what people are saying and draw my own conclusion. So, some say this was a pivot. Some say that Seth Rollins is going to be out for a while, or at least we don't know the extent. So this turn was sped up. Okay, I can believe that, because we all have said, at least on this podcast, that it seemed like after WrestleMania that this group was put together to build up Bron Breakker. Now, we didn't know how big of a star Bronson Reed was going to become and how dominant he was going to become as a result of all this, but it seemingly was Evolution 2.0, and that Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins were here to build up Bron Breakker. And we knew one day that Bron Breakker would turn on Seth Rollins, and that Seth Rollins would seemingly pass the torch to Bron Breakker. We just didn't really know it would be 6 months after this whole thing started. So, all that to say, I can see why a lot of people would say, man, this was really quick. This group didn't do a whole lot. And they pulled they pulled the rug out from under them really, really quick. Okay, that could easily be the case. Could also be, again, sped up if Seth Rollins really is hurt and we don't know what's going to happen with him, his availability, how severe his shoulder injury is, the championship. Let's go with that for just a second. The World Heavyweight Championship still on Seth Rollins. Now we know that Bron Breakker held up the championship at the end of the night. So one would lead you to believe that Breakker would be chasing Rollins for that championship. Now, a couple things at play here. Number one, we've seen guys relinquish championships when they're really hurt. So, again, we may not know the extent of Rollins' injury until he gets back to the States. So, I can see why they did not want him to relinquish the championship right now. Also, he just won the Crown Jewel Championship. So, in a night where it's supposed to be celebratory for him, you wouldn't want all of that momentum to come crashing down because you don't know the extent of his injury. I get that. I understand that. Also, you had a triple threat match for the number one contendership for that championship between CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. So you're already preparing the next challenger for the championship. So if Bron Breakker was going to be that guy just by holding up the championship, because we've seen that before, guys attack the champion, they hold up the title, and automatically they're the number one contender. So if that was going to be your plan, why did you go through with the triple threat match? I guess because you want to have another backup plan, because you don't know. Okay. All of that also, I can see logic behind all of that. Here's another big piece of logic that you have to backtrack. And then you got to look at all of these things and how these things have played out. This whole time, since Clash in Paris, really, Seth Rollins has been distant from the division. He hasn't even really done anything with Paul Heyman. He had the thing with Becky and AJ and Punk. AJ Lee, not AJ Styles. Excuse me. So you had that. And then as we're going towards this Cody Rhodes match, Rollins is very self-focused. He's focused on him. He's focused on doing it himself. And that's a lot of what he said in his promo on Raw. He did it himself. He didn't need anybody else. He chose the people around him, but he didn't need them. All of these things that Rollins has been saying, especially the promo last week backstage between Heyman and Rollins. Hey, what if I lose? Well, you lose the faith of the locker room. You lose the bronze. You lose my confidence. I begin to doubt choosing you over Roman Reigns, etc., etc., etc. So you have that conversation. Then you have the previous Friday Night SmackDown where Heyman told Rollins not to go back in the ring, and he did anyway. And he wouldn't let the Bronze help him. So, some dissension going on here. But zero in on that backstage between Rollins and Heyman, where Heyman listed all of the things that would happen if Rollins lost the match. And he said, just win. Well, if all of those doubts are starting to creep in, and Rollins ends up winning like he did, how is this group supposed to function with Rollins winning? How are they supposed to function with Rollins losing? I said on the preview show that I felt it was more compelling for Rollins to lose, and most talking heads in the wrestling space agreed with me. Not saying it was my idea, but you get my point. Most everybody agreed that the story would be better if Rollins lost, but Rollins won. Okay. Apologize for the cough there. So, Rollins wins. It can also be a compelling story. Even more compelling, the fact that this turn comes now. Well, it seems like it came out of nowhere. That's why I think a lot of people online are reacting the way they are, that it's a major pivot. It's this. Okay. It could be. But how did you expect this faction to function following a Seth Rollins win? Like, what did you expect them to do? Did you expect a heel Seth Rollins who is chasing QB1, who is chasing to be the greatest of all time, who is chasing to get this monkey off his back that is Cody Rhodes? How did you expect him to react? There's no way that you expected him to walk out there and be humble about beating Cody Rhodes and all that. You expected him to come out and say, I told you so. I told you I'm the best. I told you I didn't need anybody, especially because Heyman said that the Bronze are not going to be at ringside. Of course you expect a heel wrestler to say, well, of course I did it on my own. I didn't need any help. So naturally, just take that as a person. When somebody says they don't need you, your natural reaction is, well, see ya. It's a two-way street here. You don't need me. I guess I don't need you either. Of course Bron Breakker is going to react like that. And this chemistry that Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker have built up, yeah, Bronson's going to go with him, and Paul Heyman's always going to go with the winners. He knows the future is Bron Breakker. That's who he's been close to for the last month. Yeah, he's going to go with him. So, like, while the rumors of this being a major pivot may be true, it may end up being that. It may be that Seth Rollins is hurt. He's going to be out for a while. It may be that CM Punk is going to face Bron Breakker for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Saturday night's main event. That might happen. All that to say, though, this turn has been coming. It's been building. The breadcrumbs have been laid. If you watch the product, if you're following the product, you know these things. So it's not like this was a major pivot. It just may have happened sooner than they thought. I don't know. WWE might have told a good story and worked us. Well, there's a novel idea. This is entertainment. It seems so rushed. So I think people are just reacting that way. It might not be rushed. Seems that way, but it might not be. All I'm saying is let's just wait and see. Let's let it play out. Let's see what happens. You never know. I mean, it could all be a ruse. I mean, we did just come off a SummerSlam where Seth Rollins faked an injury. I don't know. I do buy into that rumor just a little bit, though, that this might have been rushed because it seemed, why would you take out a member of a faction who it seemed like they were going to War Games? Like, War Games is all about factions, and the Vision would be the faction, and you insert Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory, I guess, or whatever, I don't know, into this. So, I don't know. I'm anxious to see how it plays out, though. I'm anxious to see how it plays out. Not what I was expecting to lead this show with tonight. Not what I was expecting to talk about. Seth Rollins getting ambushed by the Vision. City Kitty in the chat, the Visionary has lost his vision. Yes, he has lost his vision. Andy York in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Andy. Man, you talk about flipping it on its head, brother. Turning it upside down. Oh, my gosh. I don't know. That word pivot's getting thrown around a whole lot again, Andy. I don't know. I just don't know about it. I don't know. I'm just excited to see it. I'm excited to see what happens. See how it all shakes out. I said it on the preview show that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes were going to put on a banger of a match at Crown Jewel. But what happened after the match was going to tell the story. The real story was afterwards. Man, I called it. I didn't know that I was going to call it that well. I can't take credit for it. All I'm saying is go back and watch that preview episode. Because I did say what happens afterwards is what's going to be the story.